everybody. Welcome to our Formission tutorial. We're going to call this one, David Kenty teaches a tech illiterate pastor how to do something cool. So Dave, take it away. What are you going to be teaching us today?
Well, today we are going to be looking at a new streaming software called Streamyard. It has a little ducky on the image, so that's what we're going to be looking at.
Very nice. So where did you first see Streamyard?
Well, actually, I was following, I think Dr. Brad Knoll was the first one to introduce that to me. And he asked me actually if I knew anything about it. And I didn't really know a whole lot about it. And so I did some research and looked at what he was doing and some of the things that he was able to do with this software. And I thought, well, this is a wonderful way to sort of take streaming to the next level in terms of, maybe if you're doing a Bible study or you're doing some sort of midweek thing, if you're a youth pastor and you're doing your Zoom calls in the middle of this pandemic, it's sort of a way, maybe not your Zoom calls, but you're doing some sort of live stream. It's a way to engage your congregation or people who are watching you a lot better.
Yeah, so I saw Jamie Warren using it. So we know that the barriers to entry are very low. Hi, Jamie.
Yeah,
You're seeing this.
Yeah, there's lots of features to choose from, and we're going to take a look at them in a minute. But even if you just sign up for the free version, there's a lot you can use with that, surprisingly. So why don't we get started? Okay, so we're going to be doing a little bit of an experiment because at some point I'm going to have to share a screen within a screen. So we'll see if that works through. But when you start off, you can see here I went to Streamyard.com. Now, when you go to Streamyard.com, the process is relatively simple. You can connect through, I think, your email or your Facebook, the usual types of things you see when you log in. And then what you're going to do is you're going to be brought to a screen similar to this. There's a couple places where you are not going to be able to stream with all of the features intact. So if you have a Facebook group, this may not be the option for you. And the reason for that is when you stream through a Facebook group as opposed to a Facebook page, Facebook is going to have a difficult time because the groups are more private, and so StreamYard is really geared towards more public open forums like YouTube and Facebook pages. So if you have a church that is a Facebook group, this may not be the product for you, if you will. But if you have Facebook pages for your church, this will work. And if you stream on YouTube, this will work the same, and the functionality will be there.
Okay, Dave, so when I logged into StreamYard, the first thing I noticed is that it asked me for all kinds of permissions on my Facebook. Are these like privacy breaches? Are they going to steal my information and sell it to big corporations?
No. So what happens when you log in, they're going to ask you for all sorts of permissions for your Facebook feed. Most of them are just so that when people comment or post on your live stream, you've effectively given the software permission to post those names on your live stream.
So nothing sketchy.
Just a very legalese type of thing that they do. There's a couple that you're going to want to watch out for. I think there's a permission that it's going to ask you, and you're not required to do it or say yes to it, but it's going to ask you to post basically everything that happens through StreamYard on your public profile. You may not want that. Like, I think some of it's, if you log in, it will post that you've logged into StreamYard and all of these things. So just be on the lookout for that particular permission.
Yeah, I did. I noticed that one. And it posted in your activities. So not everybody will see it, but it's still a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
So get down to the functionality. Dave, what can this thing do?
All right. So when you have linked it to your particular Facebook group or your YouTube account, you're going to come to a screen much like this, and you can see I have had already linked it to a group. So I'm going to hit Create a Broadcast, and I can put a title into that. Test 1, let's say. Okay, you can name it whatever you want. You can put your description in there if you want, and you can actually schedule it. That's an interesting little note there too. So you can do your same scheduling if you want.
That's
Okay?
really neat.
All right, so let's create a broadcast. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you the other end of it, what it's looking like online. But again, this could all fall apart because I'm streaming within a streamer.
Not that it's going to work.
Yeah. And so let's just see where we are. I got to set up my camera here correctly.
Always a good idea.
Oh my goodness, there we go. So I set up my camera, okay? And my display name, you can make it whatever you want to make it. So if you're streaming from a church, just name your church. It's really up to you. Enter the broadcast studio. Okay. What you're going to see are all the tools on the right-hand side. So you have comments, banners, brand, private chat. So we're going to get into some of these. With the free version, some of these tools will be limited in what you can do. But let's just say, I'm going to add myself to the stream, okay? And so say there's a comment that comes up and you really want to highlight the comment. Here in your comments window, this is going to be linked to your Facebook. So you're going to see every comment that comes through on this particular window here. And so let's say Streamyard is one of the commenters and I really like it. All I do is click on that and it shows up over top the window. Okay, it's that simple. You just basically click on it and you can hide it again, click on it, hide it again.
That's one of the big draws of StreamYard, right? Is you can see people's comments. It's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very, very user-friendly and intuitive in that sense. Now, I am going to invite you, Jeremy, my Gmail. I'll send it this way. I promise you, it's this simple. There we go. So Jeremy's going to go. I just sent it to his email, so he's going to hopefully find that invite.
And this is not a feature that Facebook Live has innately, right? This is something you can only do using something like streaming.
You can only do through Facebook, yeah, or through StreamYard. Sorry.
I'm entering a broadcast studio.
He's entering the broadcast studio.
Let's check your camera and mic. Enter broadcast studio.
Okay. So wow, this is gonna feed back on me. I think. I'm gonna add him to the stream. There we go. We can do different things with it. So I'm gonna get rid of Jeremy because there's a lot of feedback. But you get the idea, is that you can add people to that. It's only because we're on Zoom that it's doing that. But anyways, so you can do that. You can do your comments section. Banners is a cool one. I'm gonna take that banner off. So banners, essentially, you can have your banner. You can create your own banner actually, but here's an example of what it looks like. This is something that if you're doing Bible notes, you can create your own banner. You just hit the create banner.
Okay, that's really cool.
Say, we are talking about God's will for our lives. Okay, and now I have the option. I can click the scroll across at the bottom, and look what it does when I do that. I'll get rid of that one. But you can see it now starting to scroll across at the bottom there. Any questions, Jeremy, about that?
No, I think it's all pretty cool.
Yeah.
Again, this isn't things you can normally do when you're doing Facebook Live. Could a pastor share like a scripture? Like, can they share a larger block, or is it only the banners they're limited to?
Well, what you can do is when you go to the banners, now again, some features are more available. I don't know if some of the higher ones you can actually do your, well, I think you can do your own JPEG or PNG, sorry, transparent file and throw it
down there in that little share box Dave, next to mute, stop cam, cam mic, can you share your screen there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So if you want to share you can
Like a
share a
PowerPoint.
video file. You can do it that way. But if you want, if you say are doing a presentation and you're using PowerPoint, I'm going to share my screen within a screen. So I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll see. Okay. And
That's
that's
really
a little weird. And I hope I don't get confused because I don't know which one to stop that I'm going to stop sharing to. But you can see on the screen, you can change the way that it looks. If I had two people on the screen, I would do this and there would be another one over top. But typically, if you go into your PowerPoint and hit full screen like you would on any PowerPoint slide, your whole slide will take up that space. This is just because I don't want to lose track of where I am, that it's there. So that's what
we're
you do.
in a deep rabbit hole of a share within a share within a share right now. So
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna get out of this because it frightens me. We'll just get out of that.
But suffice to say, that's a really cool feature, Dave, especially if somebody's preaching.
Yeah, and you can share your PowerPoint. Like if you're familiar with Zoom and how you share your content through Zoom, it's pretty much the same method, just in live stream. And all you do is basically click share down there. And I like the idea that you can actually share a video file straight to it. Let me show you your brand. So what they mean by brand is you can kind of change the colors around. You can change sort of the way that it looks. Let's see if we change the color. Say your church colors are blue. Like I know, for instance, like Bethesda's colors are orange. Okay, so we'll change them there. That's what I would do there. And again, when you go and you pay for the actual paid version, you have higher functionality here. I've seen some that have like two-toned colors and different things like that.
Yeah, I just want to jump in and remind people, like, you can test all of this just like Dave is testing it now. He's not live on Facebook until he hits that blue go live button there in the corner. He's still not live. So if you wanted to play with this, there's absolutely no risk. You can do it all within StreamYard and try out all the features that Dave is showing you today.
Absolutely. So the other thing is you have your logo. If you had, so you got to pay for the logo. You get the little duck there if you're going to use the free version, but if you pay for it, you can actually remove the duck and put your church logo or your youth group logo up there.
And you're talking about $20 a month, right? If you're going to pay for it?
Yeah, I believe that's the price there. So beyond that, the other thing we mentioned earlier was putting up a slide or a picture. That would be what we consider the overlay. And so you can actually, if you pay for it, you can see it there, you can actually add your own overlay. So all you do for that is just make a PNG file, and you don't have to be transparent or anything, but if you want to put up a slide, just one slide or something like that, you could just click that button and add it, and it would superimpose it. Just make sure it's 1920 by 1080. They got a video clip you can add. Your own little countdown. You can add your own countdown there. That's the way to do it. Let's see if I can get out of that. I'm not sure what the background does. I think, yeah, so if you're using, it says here, if you're using, you'll see your background if you have a guest. Oh, so when we see the black space, basically, when you have the different screens on, like basically if I was to go between the two of us, you can actually change the picture in the background, which is a pretty cool feature. Kind of fits your branding if you have that. And again, you have to pay for that. Yeah, and so that's pretty much it. Private chat is a unique feature. So if you have a guest on, this private chat, you can actually send to your guest, even though they might not be on with you. They might be in the backstage room, or they can privately message you and say, hey, your audio is not good. Can you change that? And other people won't see it. So that is pretty much it. Of course, there's a bunch of different options in your settings and so on, but yeah. that's it for StreamYard.
Yeah, you can even green screen. I saw that there. That's neat. So you can be in the Rocky Mountains or
Yeah.
wherever your location of choice is, if you'd like, if you prefer that to Dave's living room.
Yeah, so there's a few different options you can use there.
I think it's really cool technology and easy access. I mean, again, if we can use it and test it out, anybody can use it. Hopefully, this helps some pastors out there to enhance your online services or your online prayer meeting or whatever you're using Facebook Live for to connect with people.
Yeah, and I would say your main application will probably be if you're doing your Tuesday night Bible studies or something smaller in that function where you have a lot of really local engagement. If you're doing a bigger event or service, you might need somebody to actually be on with you or to run this for you so that they can kind of engage with the comments and so on.
Yeah, I think a lot of churches are doing that already, having somebody on to welcome people and things like that. So just a
Absolutely.
good extra
Yeah.
step. Thank you for your time today, Dave. I really appreciate all the things you teach me, but this one in particular I thought was really cool.
No problem at all. Glad to help.
All right, be blessed, everybody.